and desire to make things better. I thank you for this board. I ask that as we look at, as a board, the agenda tonight, that we have humble hearts and sharp minds. It's in Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excuse me. All right. Thank you, Jeff. Let the minutes reflect we have 2 members absent, Councilman Clondaris and Councilor Dobbins. We have 5 members, which constitutes a quorum, but 4 votes will be required for any action. With that, we'll start with the approval of the minutes from June 19th.
I move to approve.
Second it.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you. Welcome all our visitors tonight. Good to see you all. With that, let's move into reports, oral and written communications. The June fund report was presented. Lynn, any comments?
It does reflect our June disbursement, tax disbursements.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
So we made some money this month.
Thought we got richer.
All right, any questions? All right, thank you. Next up, we have John Cannon from the Unclaimed Property Scam Prevention and Other Duties of the Attorney General's Office.
Yes, sir.
Hi, John.
How are you guys?
Good. Come on up.
Good. This okay?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Well, greetings from our Attorney General, Todd Rokita. He'd like to congratulate all of you on your victories in the spring and I guess all the way to the fall now. So, sir, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you've done, sir. And
You're welcome.
hope you enjoy your retirement if I'm not here before you leave on
I
December
will.
31st. So
I will. Thank you.
thank you for everything you've done for Warsaw and this county.
Appreciate it.
You've been a staple. So, I was a former mayor of the city of Portage, and we would look to you a great deal on some things you guys are doing over here. So, we appreciate.
Well, thank
what
you
you've
very
done.
much. Appreciate
and
it.
the rest of the council as well. I'm here just to give you some updates on what the Attorney General's office does and has been doing since 2021 when Mr. Rokita became the Attorney General. Before he became Attorney General, there was about 8.7 billion scam calls that would come to our Hoosier phone numbers. And so far, he's reduced that to 7.4 billion each year. So we're on the hunt to stop spam calls and spoof calls or whatever you may call them. You may have your own special word for those when they come across your phone, but I don't want to repeat what I normally say. So can I tell you a quick little story about being south of Route 30? I'm from north of Route 30 in Porter County in Portage. I was in Fowler, Indiana a few months back, and I stopped at a Dollar General. There's one everywhere, it seems like. And I was in line holding my Dr. Pepper, and you can tell it wasn't diet. But there was a lady there that was having trouble paying for her bundle of toilet paper with her 2 children on her arm. She says, well, it just went up. I was just here last month, and it was cheaper than this. And I had my own thoughts about that, but I kept them to myself. And it was $1.96 short, so I told the lady that was ringing her out that I would go ahead and cover the $2, and so the lady could get on her way. So I went ahead and paid for my Dr. Pepper and the $2 that lady owed. And the lady with the 2 children and the bundle of toilet paper waited at the door. And I thought, oh boy, I got myself into something else now. She'll want a ride, or she'll want, whatever, which would have been fine. As I walked out, she said, sir, I just want to stop you and thank you very much for helping me out. Every time my family uses this paper, I'll think of you. So you get that south of 30, you don't get that north of 30. So I just thought maybe that would be, didn't know there was going to be entertainment tonight. But another thing that we want to make sure that you all know that we have an advisory division that can give you advice on how to implement laws, rules, and regulations after July 1st. Every year, the legislatures, I hope there's none here tonight, but they come up with some quirky things that sometimes it's hard for cities and towns to implement. So we do offer that to you, and you can contact me. I'll give you all a card before I leave. If you have any questions or concerns about how something is implemented or how things are supposed to be put in place with the rules and regulations, our office can help you with that and give you an opinion on what the law actually means and how you are to implement those. Usually there's not a huge problem. Usually the attorneys can take care of all that stuff. They understand it, but just in case a council person or the mayor's office or the clerk treasurer, Lynn, if you all need with help with anything, we're there for you. Our unclaimed property division has about $700 million in unclaimed property waiting that we'd like to get back to Hoosiers. I was in Hobart 3 weeks ago and gave this presentation, and I made a mistake and I handed out the brochure with the QR code on it, and every council member and every police officer and such were all checking that, and they had no idea what I was saying. And then somebody went, "Wow, we got $1,346 for the fire department." My whole presentation went right in the toilet. So then everybody was looking for it. So I'm encouraging you to check once a month at least, specifically the clerk treasurer's office, if you would, because they found $1,346 of leftover grant that the fire department did not collect that was turned over to unclaimed property. I was in Plymouth this afternoon and talked to their clerk treasurer, and they found $369, I think, that was left over for them in unclaimed property. So please, everyone, check that. Everybody in the crowd. I know it sounds kind of corny, but check it once a week if you think of it. We add about 175 items every week. There is one piece of property in Delaware County. If anybody wants to claim it, it's worth $1 million, and it's acreage. And then we go all the way down to 57 cents that is owed to somebody and that is not claiming it. So that's the wide range of unclaimed property. So please check that out. Department heads as well as council members for your constituents as well. If you know of someone that maybe doesn't have the ability to do it, that'd be a good, well, you all don't need votes now, but it'd be a good way to give service to your constituents. So, and I know you're all not in here for votes, I'm just teasing y'all. And the other thing that we do is we do Medicaid fraud. Last year, we recouped $263 million in fraud in the Medicaid program throughout the state, and went right back into the Medicaid process for the needy, and we took it from the greedy, which is a good thing. And those folks have been prosecuted, and they will continue to be. Each county has at least 2 investigators that do Medicaid fraud investigations. So if you know of somebody, you know of something that doesn't seem right, if someone maybe receiving Medicaid that shouldn't, or someone that may be frauding the system, you can let me know, and I can get that over to your fraud investigator here in your county, because we do want to stop that. That's a good program, and we don't want it to be bled by the greedy folks that are out there doing things in the wrong way. We also do a lot of scam prevention, and I could go through hundreds of those, but right now one of the biggest one out there is you get a letter in the mail from the IRS, because they learned that if they call you, you're smart enough to know that the IRS won't call you, that they'll send you a letter. Well, now they're sending you letters, and then you call the number, and then they want all your information. Remember, the IRS will send you 2 letters, a letter with the actual letter of what you need to call about, and then the code number that you must use when you dial in to get through. So please don't fall for that scam, or get the word out there that the IRS scam is out there. The Indiana Department of Revenue will never call you, and we have the same process in the state. We send a letter and the code separately, so you can contact those folks if you have any tax issues with the state. I'll take any questions at this point. I don't want to hold you up. You never want to hold up 3 young ladies that are trying to do good. I'm trying to get out of your way, ladies. But if I can answer any questions or any concerns, anything I can do for you, I would be happy to. I'm going to leave material with Lynn, if you put that in the place for the public to pick up. unclaimed property and some scan information and such. I do have a gun owner's bill of rights that I can leave with you if you'd like. If you don't want to present it, you can do whatever you wish to. But since last July 1st, the Attorney General wanted to make sure he published something that let folks know that since we do our constitutional carry state, that we do have a list of rights that the Hoosiers have. So, anything else?
Any questions? No, we appreciate you coming tonight, your
Thank you.
time. I know
No
your
problem.
office has been helpful in several instances here, and we're appreciative of that. And
Sure.
good to see you up here, just giving a little bit of general information. So
Thank
there's
you
no
all very
questions.
much. I'm going to leave cards with Lynn as well as some material.
Does it
Thank
have the
you all.
QR code on it?
Oh, yes, it does. I hope you find some. Thank
all
you
right,
all very much.
thank you very much. All right. Well, with that, got a group of young ladies from the HOSA, Future Health Professionals, tonight. Addison Whitaker, Chief's daughter, approached me at one point about a blood drive they were wanting to do, and said probably the best thing to do is come to council and give you guys a chance to talk publicly about it, and you might get a little bit of press from it. So, Addison, if you want to come up and introduce your group, and then you guys can go ahead and do the presentation.
Hi, I'm Addison Whitaker, and I'm actually the historian. I'll let Sophie.
I'm Sophia Lunsford. I'm the president.
I'm Tatiksha Gorhe, and I'm co-president.
All right, thank you. All right, so Sophia, you're going to do the presentation.
Yes, we apologize. We didn't think ahead on our slideshow, so.
Did you try and email it to me?
Yeah, I tried. I think it's just going slow because I don't really know why, actually. But you can check. It says it still failed, though.
Oh, well, it probably did then. Yep, I don't have it. All right.
So for those of you that don't know, HOSA is for Future Health Professionals, and Tatiksha is going to share a little bit about what it is and what we do.
Many of you may be wondering what HOSA is, what it stands for, and what we do. It is a CTSO club, which stands for Career and Technical Student Organization. This just means that we are a career-focused club and that everything is student-led. So all of our committee meetings and all the organizations, all the community stuff that we do is all student-led, and the meetings are also student-run. It's a nonprofit club, and it's for healthcare, for students that are interested in healthcare. So many of you may have heard of FFA or BPA. This is just the medical equivalent of those clubs.
So some things that we do throughout the year is our biggest event is our state competition that takes place in April. Our chapter members will compete in various competitive events. This could be microbiology, forensic science, medical law. There are over 100 different events. Not only do we do state, but we also do lots of community service throughout the year. Some of these include helping out the elementaries, ringing bells for Salvation Army, and our biggest project is making pillowcases for the sick kids that we do go and hand deliver personally. We also are very passionate about the blood drives that take place at our school and within the community. We help run these and organize them, which we always have so much fun doing. This year, we're adding on a HOSA chapter within the middle schools at Lakeview and Edgewood, so we are looking forward to being able to mentor those kids and help them grow into great leaders. But we are here to talk about the blood drive that we organized that will be taking place later this year. Many of you guys probably know what blood donation is, but not the importance of it. Blood donation is a voluntary procedure where blood is extracted, that you donate 1 pint of blood, which is equivalent to 3 units, and 1 unit can save 1 life. Why should you consider donating? When you're donating, you're not only giving back to your community, which I'm sure all of you guys do in various different ways, but you're also being able to save lives. So why wouldn't you do it? And how important is it really? Without blood donation, about 4.5 million citizens would die each year. So that just gives you a little bit of perspective about how important it really is.
I will now be addressing some of the common questions and concerns that are related to blood donation. So, the biggest concern is how blood donation is really affecting the body. You may feel drowsy or nauseous during the process or a few minutes after. To take care of this, we have people going around with snacks and juice boxes throughout the whole process, so if you ever feel drowsy, just let them know. We will also keep you 15 minutes after you have donated blood, just to make sure you feel good before you leave, and we will also offer you a snack, juice, anything that you need. Remember to keep your sugar up after you have donated blood, in like few hours after you have donated, and to fight nauseousness, I would recommend eating a nutritious meal and drinking lots of water the night before and right before you donate. Also try to avoid any workouts or exercises the day of because your body is feeling a little weak.
So now I'm going to give you guys some details about our community blood drive. It is going to be from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at Warsaw Community High School in the T-RAC gym. And usually the duration of this is about 30 minutes, but with Versity, that's how long it will take. It's usually only 8 to 10 minutes to actually do the blood transfusion.
Because our slideshow is not working, we did have a QR code for everyone to sign up, but is it okay if we provide you with flyers instead? I don't know who we'd give those to, but that way people can still sign up if they're interested. But as far as that, if you guys have any questions, we'd love to answer. We also just spoke, and we will be putting it in the paper as well.
Great. Questions?
Did you say the date? I heard the time, but I didn't
Oh.
hear the date.
Sorry, it's Saturday, August 12th at the Warsaw, at the T-RAC gym. I'm sure you're all familiar with that.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for the opportunity to present.
Really appreciate you coming. I know it's obviously very important. I know there's a significant blood shortage, and every bit helps, and really thankful for you all for stepping up and setting up a program like this. So say the date again, August?
August 12th, it's a Saturday.
From
9 to 1:30.
To 1:30 at the
T-RAC gym.
T-RAC gym.
Yes,
at
and I
the
know
high school.
Addison mentioned it takes about 30 minutes. A lot of people are concerned about the time. The actual donation is about 8 to 10 minutes, like she said, and then obviously we keep you after to make sure your sugars are up. So
Is it run through the American Red Cross?
it is run through the Indiana Blood Center. They have a new name, Versity. That is the HOSA partner for blood donation. So I'm sure most of you guys, when you think about blood donation, think of American Red Cross, but for HOSA, we're partnered with Indiana Blood Center.
So if we don't have a QR code, we could get on to,
You can email me directly at Sophia Lunsford at 25@warsawschools.org, or you can just find our Instagram, Warsaw HOSA, and we'll be able to send out the link to you. It's not on their website, versity.org. It's on a private website.
I gave you my email. If you want to send that information directly to me, I'll
Perfect.
make sure it gets out.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, any other questions? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you again.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Yes. All right, very good. All right, no unfinished business. Let's move into new business. We got a full agenda here tonight. We'll start with the Central TIF District expansion. I know this has gone through the Redevelopment Commission, and let me look here real quick. It was Plan Commission.
It went through plan.
Right, so I'll ask you for your comments here shortly, but with that, Jeremy, you want to go ahead and explain what we're doing tonight?
Yeah, like most of our TIF district expansions, depending on the type of district, it goes through various boards for its approval. Started with the Redevelopment Commission with their approval, went to the Plan Commission, and you are basically tonight approving the Plan Commission's order of the Redevelopment Commission, and then it will go back to the Redevelopment Commission for its final approval, at which point it'll be recorded, and then the district will be expanded. So for the Central TIF District, obviously the two areas that are being brought into the district are the old Owens and the old Marsh properties. For redevelopment, currently we obviously are working with developers on the Owens property, so we need to bring that into that Central TIF, and then we're looking for, or we signed a contract with a potential developer on the Marsh property to give them access to try to develop that over the next 12 months. So both of these properties need to be brought into that TIF district.
All right. So those maps have been presented, so you have a chance to see the footprint there. Are there questions, first of all, for Jeremy? If not, Diane or Jeff from the Plan Commission, I noticed you all approved that, make a positive recommendation. Any comments?
I have no comment.
Jeremy, does this reset the TIF district?
It does not reset the TIF district. These two districts will have their own time frame that they operate on, but the existing district is made up of different time frames. So every time you can add to a TIF district, in that area that you add will have its own time frame. It doesn't necessarily affect the existing TIF district's time frame.
So are they 25 years or?
So this one was the one that was in perpetuity that the state changed, that now went to a 25-year life cycle based on the bond issue that we did for the Buffalo Street project.
Okay. I remember we discussed that while we were doing two of them, so that we discussed this at Plan. And
So these will have their own 25-year. The Buffalo Street set the old TIF district, the original downtown TIF district that they used for the Zimmer headquarters. That got reset when we did the bond issue for the Buffalo Street project in 2015, I think.
I would just say, I think the main thing that was just mentioned at Plan was just the fact that we can either step up and take control of some of these areas, or we can just let things happen to them. And so the purpose for this was really to develop this in a way in which it fit in with our overall plan, rather than just letting it slip out of control and then perhaps things that would be permitted zoning-wise, but that we don't really want in our downtown area. So that was an important thing that came up at Plan, I believe.
Yeah, the redevelopment commissions, if you're not aware, obviously we are acquiring, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, the Marsh property in an attempt to redevelop that property for some commercial uses.
So again, for clarity, it went to Plan Commission, was approved by Plan Commission.
Yes.
It's before you all tonight, be considered by you all tonight, and then passed on. If it passes here, go back to Redevelopment Commission for final expansion. So is there a public hearing at any point, Jeremy?
At the redevelopment commission, there is.
Okay, very good. So, questions? Comments? Motions?
On behalf of the Plan Commission, then I recommend that we approve Resolution 2023-0702.
All right, thank you, Diane. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Thanks, Jeff. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you. All right, item number 2 is a discussion of the GATKey allocation area.
Yeah, so it's very similar to what we just did. We're redoing this with the GATKey. The only difference is the GATKey property was originally in the Winona Interurban, was the original parcels that were part of the Winona Interurban TIF district. It's still going to be a part of the Winona Interurban district, but we're resetting that into the GATKey allocation area, which is basically resetting the time frame that TIF district exists for the development of the project that we've entered into with Rebar Development. So initially, this district was created in the early 2000s, and those, depending on, I think at that time they had a 25-year lifespan, maybe a 30-year. Now it'll go to the 25-year lifespan based on the date of this year. So starting early next year will be its first year of its lifespan. So just resetting the GATKey property only. We're not resetting any other properties, just that parcel. And it'll have its own 25-year lifespan, much like what we did with the Marketplace project. It'll still be a part of the Winona Interurban, but it'll have its own allocation area.
So it's an allocation area within an allocation area.
Yeah.
Got it. Questions? So then, Jeremy, this will go,
Back to the redevelopment commission.
okay, and then
So it
for
went
final.
Yeah, so it went from the redevelopment commission to the plan commission. You're basically approving the order of the plan commission. You'll send that back to the redevelopment commission, which will have the final approval that will get recorded and submitted to the county for creating that allocation area.
So is that subject to a public hearing as well?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Related to Jeremy's comments, it's item 9 on page 14 of the 18 pages, so the 25 years.
So Plan Commission approved this unanimously and enthusiastically to get something done with this property finally.
I move to approve 2020, Resolution 2023-0701.
It's actually 2 for us. It was 1 at Plan.
Oh, I'm way down.
Sorry.
You're right. No, that's good. So, now I am seeing Jeremy up at the top. It is 01 up there.
Yep.
Is that what you want? 2023-0701?
Oh, yeah.
Is that
I
okay?
believe so.
Number. Yeah, you're right.
I was deep into it,
Yeah,
but
I
up at the top.
get those from the clerk's office. So.
Is that right?
I'm assuming it's right.
Yeah. I'm assuming, she probably might have put them out of
Where are you
order.
seeing that other number, Jeff?
I didn't. Diane, I move to approve Resolution 2023-0701.
Yeah, I think that's correct because the one we just did was 02.
Okay.
All right, I'll second that.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor?
I say it's about time we did something with Gaki.
Oh, this is just a part of the whole process.
Yep.
It's been a lot of work to
Amen.
this point, and everyone will be very pleased. All right, so with that, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you. Item 3 is a additional appropriation, ordinance 2023-0703. This will require 2 approvals. Tonight will be the introduction of this. It's an amount of $100,000. Jeremy, I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, so it is an ordinance adding some additional appropriation into the Warsaw Technology Park as we move forward, like I said, with acquiring the Marsh property. We've entered into a purchase agreement with them for $1.25 million. Currently, that budget has around $1.215 million in it, but we have some professional services and some closing costs that will come out of that as well. So I am requesting $100,000 to be added into that. And the next resolution you'll see is just moving some of those funds around to get that $1.25 million to purchase the Marsh property.
So we'll start with the, any questions on the, again, our first reading of this additional appropriation? Questions? So then you would bring this next meeting?
Yes, it's advertisement, it's been submitted to the paper, so it will have a
For
public
public hearing.
hearing at the next meeting.
Okay.
I move to approve ordinance 2023-0703 on first reading.
Thank you, Jeff. Is there a
I'll
second?
second it.
Thanks, Jack. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thanks, Jeremy. I know there's a lot of steps in this project, and this is again, but one of them, but very important. Next, Resolution 2023-0703. This would be a transfer of Tech Park funds to accomplish what Jeremy had just described, so I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, so there's two different funds that we have some money in the existing budget that we don't need or haven't used so far, that we're going to move into the purchasing of properties or buildings, which is the 443. So we're moving $100,000 from professional services, which is a 310 category, and $67,000 from other services, 390, into that 443 category, which will be combined with the other funds to get the 1.25 to purchase the Marsh building.
Questions? So again, this transfer just requires one
Yes.
approval tonight. Any final questions on this? With that, is there a motion?
I move we accept Resolution 2023-0703 as written.
Thanks, Jack. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Josh. Any, again, further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Item 5 is a salary ordinance amendment to the fire territory salary ordinance. And this involves the addition of a second CARES personnel. So with that, Denny?
Yeah, so we've been very deliberate in how we grow the program, and the program has taken off like wildfire, but Chief Ansel put in and was lucky enough to receive some grant funds that will allow us to bring on another CARES responder that will work hand in hand with Michaela. So what we needed to do is add that position to our salary ordinance so that we can make sure that that's ready to go once that person's ready to start. So that's what this is for today.
We've been fortunate recipients of the opioid money, and Chris Fansel and Chief and Fire Territory secured a separate benefit of that opioid fund from the state. I think that was about $300,000.
Yeah, not to conflict the two grants. So this.
No, I'm just saying, in total.
Correct. So our corp, which this one is
Yes.
300,000+, and then the one that's opioid funds is 376,000. But yeah.
Yeah, I'd mention that because we've also been using some ARPA money for the CARES coordinator, and so we've been the benefactor of funds that are specific to this organization. I think our timing was great getting this thing going, and so that's allows us with not only the expansion of demand, but I know the county is working to expand out into the county, and we're working together with them, and with these funds available, it gives us some flexibility to do this. These salaries will be paid for out of these for another 3 years, I believe.
This one actually started November of last year to November of 2025. So it's very fortunate that this person has been identified and can actually start getting paid and get working. But yes, 3 years on both of them.
Great. Questions?
Can you give us kind of a picture of, we got Fansel and then like how this fits into the.
Sure. Deputy Fansel, Deputy Chief Fansel is the one who has been overseeing the program. Obviously, it falls under Chief Mayo, but Chief Fansel has been kind of the spearhead of this program from the beginning. Last year, been a little over a year now, we hired Michaela Bixler to be his assistant. And she's typically the first responder in the incidents and the follow-up person. So this person coming on now will actually fall under Michaela, and Michaela will oversee them as well. But they'll be doing similar tasks together.
Okay. So it's not a parallel position, it's,
No, it'll be under Michaela.
okay. I thought the salaries looked different, that's why.
They are similar, but there is a bit of a difference for
Okay.
the other position.
All right. Any final questions? All right. Willing to take any action on this tonight?
I move to approve ordinance 2023-0701.
Thank you.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? I would suggest we wait for 2 weeks, since two of the members aren't here, unless you've got a burning time issue with this.
I believe as soon as this is ready, we're ready to have the person get started, so completely up to the board. We have somebody identified. We've went through the process of finding the person, because we want to make sure we had the right person before taking this step. So the person's identified, they're ready to start as soon as we're ready for them to start.
So I'll leave it to the council.
I mean, I think we've got somebody ready to start, we should suspend the rules and move on. But-
Do it.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we suspend the rules to vote on 2023-0701.
All right.
I'll second the motion.
Appreciate that
I'll
motion to
second
suspend the rules.
I'll second that to suspend the rules.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, now we'll consider ordinance 2023-0701 on second reading with the suspension of the rules.
We approve ordinance 2023-0701 on second and final reading.
Thank you, Diane. Is there a second, Jerry? Appreciate it. All right, any final questions, further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, there you go. Thanks, Denny. Thanks, Chief. Appreciate it. Yep. All right, item 6. This is another ordinance, 2023-0702, brought to you by the Traffic Commission. This is a cleanup of some stop signs, one-way and two-way locations that need to be codified or corrected. So with that, I'll turn it over to Joel.
Thank you, Mayor. Under the direction of Traffic Commissioner Grubbs, we have been trying to clean up our ordinances. Some of them are very old. We have had some stop sign ordinances that were changed into traffic lights. Well, we have both ordinances on the books. So we're trying to get rid of that and clean it up. I'd like to thank Councilman Will Height for all of your work on this. This is a daunting task. It seems like it's never ending. And I think this is phase number 2 in doing this. And you'll see us back up here hopefully in the next couple of months. But what this list is, there's nothing new here. We're not changing anything. What we are is we're writing ordinances for what we have in place. For example, we have Du Bois Drive. We have a stop sign ordinance for Du Bois Drive at Parker Street going eastbound. Well, Du Bois Drive is a westbound street now. So we do not need that ordinance, and that's just an example of one of the many examples that are on this list. Probably the biggest ordinance that was approved by the Traffic Commission was eliminating parking allowing parking, downtown from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Right now, we have an ordinance saying that you can't park downtown from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Well, we have residents who park downtown, and the police department has never enforced that. This is not something that we're looking to enforce, and we think we can get rid of that and get it off of the books.
So most of these are deletions.
I'm sorry?
Most of these are deletions.
Correct,
Yeah.
yes.
All right, Jack, yes, thank you for all your work, and I'm sure you've got some comments, but I do very much appreciate you taking this challenge on.
Yeah, it is a bit tedious, and the biggest part for me was to try to relate it to the rest of the council in a way that was easy to understand, just because there are so many different parts. We did discuss the parking downtown. That was probably, we spent a lot of time on that, and that seems to be something that was put in place years ago so that, say, snow could be removed in the middle of the morning. Dustin is on our traffic commission. He has no problems with it at all. So it didn't need to be enforced, therefore it didn't need to be there, therefore we don't need to put signs up. So it's all very much pretty much straightforward, as Joe said, and we're just cleaning up. We hope to be bringing the next group right on the tail of this one that we looked at in March. So.
Well, Jack, I know the first one was several pages, and that shows the amount of work you've done, and each one obviously seems to get less and less as we get caught up.
Yeah.
And there's always a need to review these and make sure that they're codified correctly, so.
Well, we took what was brought to Commissioner Grubbs up front was a big, long list, a number of pages. And what we've done is we've tried to separate those out, section them out, so that they're easier for all of us to digest. And hopefully we accomplish that.
Questions?
So basically, these are just removing things that were on the book that don't match what's happening right now.
Right. Yeah.
Or something that was unnecessary
Like
and not being
Captain Bean
enforced.
said, the two on Parker Street, that was just intersection cleanup from the Wiggins administration. You know, there's 4 of them along 15 that ended up removing stop signs and putting in stop lights. You know, things like that. So it's pretty straightforward. I look at myself on that video of our meeting and say, what took me so long to decide? They're pretty much easy to decide on.
Again, just for clarity, the vast majority of them are removals, but there are
Yes.
a few in the middle that are additions, so.
Yeah, those are along Ranch Road where we've got some roads coming out of the neighborhoods. And we've got stop signs there, but to enforce them, we need them in the code.
All right, questions? All right, again, as ordinance will require 2 readings, tonight being the first, so I'd ask you to consider ordinance 2023-0702.
Mr. Mayor, I would move that we accept ordinance 2023-0702 as written.
All right, thank you, Jack. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. Any final comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Joel, Lance, thank you all for your work. I know this is, and we should mention Scott Royce has been involved in this.
Yes, he has. He got us the bones.
He was
of this.
drug into this as well, so thank you very much. All right, our last item is a conflict of interest statement from Jay Gottschalk at the street department. He's got a contractor. He sells straw to the city of Warsaw and just wants that publicly known to avoid that conflict. Are there any questions on that conflict of interest disclosure? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve his conflict of interest statement as presented?
I'd so move.
Second. Thanks, Jerry. Thanks, Jack. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you. Any other matters to come before the council? All right, any items carried forward? Doesn't look like it. Any visitors, questions, or comments? Mr. Parker?
Good evening, Gary Parker. I think you're the only one I don't know, but give you a little background. I've worked on over 250 properties in Warsaw. I've worked in every neighborhood in Warsaw. And why I want to tell you this is I've been recognized by the Lieutenant Governor about a landscape project and a beautification project that I did in Warsaw. But what's important to tell you tonight is I've donated landscape services to over 10 non-for-profits. So I would like to talk about non-for-profits tonight. My understanding is we can't comment, you're taking no public comment on the Cardinal Center sale. Is that correct?
You're free to say what you want.
Okay, very good. My understanding, I talked to 2 council members last week that you guys are kind of cleaning up how you're handling going forward with non-for-profits. And I appreciate that. You've had, my understanding, there was one group that feels like they're gonna get their funding cut and they're concerned about it. My concern is you're giving $1 million to Cardinal Center. And I want you to look at the Joe Mack property that Cardinal Center held for years and did nothing with. And now go to Joe Mack building now and look at it. The bottom of the building's rotten out. The siding's rotten out. There's going to be holes in the bottom of the building. On the north side of the building, the Winona Avenue side, there's 7 broken windows. That's just on the north side of the building. They did not take care of that building. A year ago, I spoke with one of their board members, and I said, it's an eyesore. And he says, I agree with you. And he says, well, we don't have the $250,000 to take it down. Now I think it's real interesting they're having a big remodel over there. Where did the money come from? Now, recently these guys, I don't know if it was these guys or not, but the media did a story about Cardinal Center losing so many employees that their group homes had to shut down and they sent their people to Fort Wayne. So they had a money issue there. The management at Cardinal Center, I don't know how many years it's had empty, you guys probably can tell me, but the Marsh building, they bought it and wasn't financially responsible. They made a financial decision that didn't make any sense. And I'm a little concerned, you know, they're putting siding on a bus garage. That bus garage doesn't serve, making the bus garage pretty doesn't serve the people that they serve. It doesn't help the employees. And I don't think it helps the donations for the Cardinal Center. The only one I think it helps is the people in the neighborhood, and good for the people in the neighborhood. I'm glad that their property values are gonna go up. Now, I'm gonna say this, I'm not saying there's anything done wrong here, but I really think the mayor should have been excused himself from this. He made comments to the media during the ribbon cutting that he was glad it was happening in his neighborhood. I think he was too close to the situation. I think it's a conflict of interest. I sat here one time and listened to a council member said they had a conflict of interest over 2 bottles of water. I mean, somebody needs to look into this. Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All right, thank you.